You're good. Go ahead. Praise him. Kurt.
Heavenly Father, we just we thank you for this day, Lord. Thank you for this man. Just pray that you'd be with us today. Pray that you direct us. Just lead us to be the men that you call us to be. Pray that you'd help us to be men looking for things eternal, not things of this world. Pray that you'd direct us and guide us and lead us to support each other, lift each other up, and pray that everything we do and say brings you honor, praise, and glory. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Let's go to work.
Welcome back to Recovery Unfiltered. It's Robin, Larry, and you here again. We don't need letters before or after our names, just two drunks with a lot on our brains. Sit back, relax, let us carry the load. We've watched two alcoholics with a lot to say. This is
Hello, Robert.
What's up, Larry? I will not cuss at you like you did at me, but you're going to get your ass chewed out by your wife, which I love.
Here's the
Thank
thing.
you, Katie.
Here's the thing. I love you so very much, beyond all measures, and sometimes I have to, that's how I separate myself.
You know what?
Sometimes.
I can't blame you. I don't blame you a bit. I'm a lovable son of a bitch.
There's that humble heart. Welcome back, Kurt. Welcome back, Kurt.
Thank you.
That was
Kurt loves me too. Don't kid yourself.
Yes,
Absolutely.
I think we very well established that in last week's episode, that the love affair, not a love affair, I shouldn't say affair, but the mutual love that you two have for each other is incredible. And you know, I think Brad and I talked about this one time, is we've never been able to say I love you to another man like we do now, right?
Oh, yeah.
I've never been able to, when I talk to you guys, I typically always say I love you before I hang up, and I mean it.
And there was a time
mean
when
it.
Katie was describing, one thing she appreciated was not, your sobriety but the fellowship of men that you had, and to hear her husband tell another man that, she was tearing up when she said, to hear her husband tell another man that he loves him and mean it, what a great change, what an amazing,
It used to, at first it made me uncomfortable, I think, to say it. It made me uncomfortable to say it, but man, the more I stayed involved with these men, and the more I realized what they do to my life, what they contribute to my life, and contribute to me, and contribute to that lady sitting over there, how the hell can I not love them? How can you not love something that gives you the joy that I get? The daily joy that I get to see my kids, to get to see my wife, to get to see the things that I do. And why do I get to see these things? Is because I got sober. God gave me the ability to be sober. God put me in the rooms with these men, and I get that every day. And how do I not love that? How do you not?
But there's that double-edged sword, like when right when my cancer treatment had started, it wasn't bad. The floor was getting done. Jason Ryan came over, and that guy can do anything. He can fix anything. He looks just like me too. He's handsome, but he put my bathroom in for me. One, because we were getting it started, and it was one less thing for Barney to not worry about, and he did all that, and because I can't do it, and I've always looked, those, and I'm not beholden to anybody. I've usually done more for people in my life than they've ever done for me, and I like it that way because it's a pride and ego thing. It absolutely, you don't ask for help, and I've struggled with that. And I've always looked for the opportunity to kind of pay back. And there was come a time in September coming up, like 2 years ago, Jason was going to get his roof done. So, man, he was going to have some of the boys come over. I get to pay that back. And then that didn't happen because another miracle of God. Bless. It was amazing. I'll share the story afterwards. I don't want to. Beautiful. But I didn't get that, and not until the dog, his last year in July when all that happened. I'll tell you that story off air, even though we've heard it. But I don't want to be the payback to be that. But sometimes it is that. And me getting to go sit when Kurt at church when he got to stand up and I got to see something. I mean, that was one of the most impressive things. Courage. But I got to be there for him, and nowhere near in the way that he got to be there for me those 3 nights. But you want to get that payback. But the way that payback is going to come, you don't want anybody ever suffer to have to do that. But that's usually how it shows its way in our lives. But I hope I never get to pay Kurt back for those 3 nights, because I don't know what that would mean in his life.
He's going through it. Yeah.
Or something. So I pray that never happens.
Yes.
I'll just have to be in your debt, and I don't mind that. I love you, and I hope I don't ever have to pay that back.
So that was
I
like
know who to call.
That's right. Call. Hey, I'll be there.
So those yesterday, Ryan brought up our meeting yesterday, and it's something you and I went through the 12 steps. We actually walked through them, but we didn't dive into some of these. And one of the things, and it's come up multiple times over the last couple weeks, is service, giving back in our service, which is our step 12. Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we try to carry the message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all of our affairs. We talked about, I had something happen even after I left the meeting yesterday. I had something pop up that I had to take care of in amongst the family. And it was immediately, and I never even without hesitation jumped in the middle of it. And one of the things in my share yesterday, I said that I have to share with a willing and open heart. When I sponsored for the first time, and I shared this yesterday, when I sponsored for the first time, I felt like it was a duty, felt like something I had to do.
Like an obligation.
Like a rite of passage for me to be in this group called sponsors, right? I felt like I had to do that. And I grabbed this guy because I heard a moment of weakness in his voice at a meeting. And I'm like, I'm going to attack him. And I got him. Well, and basically I did.
I remember.
I held him hostage, and we went to have a cup of coffee, and I brought him over here until we got to about the 4th step, and he's the one that I walked down these stairs and told him to get the hell out of my house. I was pissed. I mean, he was wasting my time. And then I tried to do it again shortly after that, same thing happened again. I got pissed, and it's just like. And then I told myself, and I talked to Chris, Chris Lytle, who's been on this, and I talked to Chris. He's like, Chris goes, I don't sponsor. I ain't no good at it. I ain't doing it. And I'm like, yeah, what he said, and I got that attitude in me, right? I'm not going to sponsor unless God hits me over the head, And lo and behold, about year 3.5 for me, I got Blake comes walking into my life and sits next door, sits 2 seats down from me in a meeting. And I'm listening to him speak, and God is just literally grabbing me by the neck and beating me up against the wall, in the meeting, saying, "You're going to sponsor this man." And we had a tremendous time going through the steps. He's an amazing human being. We still speak. He's doing great. And my second one was the same way. It reached out to me inside the family. I wasn't going to do it. I absolutely did not want to do it, and God grabbed a hold of me and said, "Yes, you are." But that's what I mean, and I've had 3 of them happen that way. And in fact, and I just keep saying that I have to do it with a willing, open heart. I listen to other people say how they serviced at the highest levels of AA. They went into the sponsorship. They did all this stuff.
All kinds of service. There's all different kinds of service.
It's the reason why I got into H&I. Now, I enjoyed H&I.
Yes, you did.
I enjoyed it, but it got to be too much for me. It just was too much, and I couldn't keep up with it.
But this kind of took place of your H&I.
Yes, the podcast did, right?
It really
the
did.
Podcast did.
But God gave you that opportunity to learn and grow, and you using those to feed here.
So I think what I wanted to do is go through this while we had Kurt here, and I wanted to talk a little bit more about service and get a little bit more in depth about it. I think one of the questions: are we doing service with a willing and open heart? Is that something that you feel that's necessary,
or is it obligatory? Are you doing it? Well, fuck. If I don't do it, I'm not going to stay sober. If that, you know what I think. Words matter. With God, motives are everything. Here's my point. Hey, Kurt. I'm gonna, because the blessing is in the action. You don't do it because God cares about why we're doing it, not so much what you're doing. Hey, Kurt, I'm gonna go help this old lady with her groceries. Well, why, Rob? Because it's the right thing to do. I've been blessed. Then go. The blessing is in the action. Hey, Larry, I'm gonna go help this old lady with her groceries. Why, Rob? Fuck. If I don't, I know I'm gonna feel guilty. I know it's the right thing to do. Then God would tell me, son, don't do it. Then let someone else go help her. Because the blessing is in the action, yes. And the motive is in the motive funds the blessing,
But isn't that the same way we talk about the love in the very beginning? Love is action.
Love is action.
Right.
But so if you're but then you're going to get people that are going to tell you or suggest, fake it till you make it, and I get why they say that, but go do it. Eventually you make. Hold on.
Something happened.
Okay, my little Marine that I've been sponsoring, with Mike, going back out, right? So here's he's going to be at Monday, because I told him.
He ain't little, by the way, but go ahead.
Anyway, he said, this is what he just texted me today. He goes, you told me a couple years ago that I had to, you told me a couple years ago that I had to continue to go to the meetings until I wanted to go to them. At that point, I was constantly looking for differences as opposed to the similarities in these rooms. For today, I don't mind being in these meetings finally. So that's kind of like a, and then he says, maybe it's a pink cloud, but fuck it, I'm on the cloud. So this is what I told him. I said, well, my friend, if you're on the pink cloud, my suggestion is dig it in your fucking spurs and stay there. There's no reason your joy has to end. Mm-mm. Mine hasn't. Life will happen, but through God and the steps, I've been able to handle it, and so will you. He says, I'll still whoop that ass. And I said, I love the confidence. It's bordering on delusion, but I love the confidence. And I said, if you show up, if your pussy ass shows up tomorrow, you get your chance.
There you go.
But would you call that fake it till you make it? Because he would go to meetings because you fuckers tell me I got to go if I want to be sober. And he did, and he would just look, well, I'm not like that guy. And I'm like, I don't need to. And then he would talk himself out of it, go have a drink. Now he's finally been beaten up. He's beaten himself into willingness through many, many treatment centers. And now he's like, I want to be here. He's just going and going until now he finally wants to be there. He would just force himself to go. Is that fake it till you make it? I don't know. But I know he's at a good spot. And we all know, okay, he's looking for similarities now. So he's bought into he's bought into the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I mean, fake it till you make it, or meeting makers make it, or 90 and 90. I think the idea behind that is that sooner or later, you're going to catch what we got.
Hopefully, yeah.
Right.
Right.
And then the output of that will be our motives change.
Your willingness will catch up to your attendance.
Yeah.
But we also had somebody on here, if you remember right, we had somebody on here that came back and said he caught a resentment because he felt like he was being forced to sit in these rooms of AA, and he caught a resentment towards AA because he sat there for 90 days. He did the 90 and 90, and at the end of the 90 and 90, he's like, I don't want to go to another fucking meeting. Sick of it. So, I mean, he never caught it.
Well,
he caught a resentment.
Kind of what he did, because he knew because everybody told him if you want to be sure, you have to be there. But he was just going there thinking he was going to get this by osmosis. That some miracle was going to strike him.
Well, I think then he's 120 and 120.
Yeah.
Or 180 and 180.
He didn't get enough yet.
Or nobody in the rooms reached out to him.
Well, and that's
actually
what happened though. Once we dug into that,
yeah.
He was. I'm trying to remember. I know who it is. I just don't remember what episode it was. But that's eventually what got him there. Is that he just wasn't getting anywhere, and nobody was reaching out to him.
Which is dumbfounding, considering the fellowships that we go to.
Right.
Primary purpose.
I've been to a couple. I've literally walked in, and I don't want to mention it off in air, but I've walked into a meeting multiple times and not a word been said to me.
The only time that's ever happened to me was Northside.
Well, you said it. I didn't. That's exactly what I was talking about. Yeah. Number 2 is service more than sponsorship.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like what?
Pouring coffee, showing up and sharing your experience, strength, and hope. H&I.
Okay, I'm going to take you back just for a second. And here's a reason why I want to bring this up. You're freshly sober. Do you really think a freshly sober guy is sitting there saying pouring coffee is service work? That's
what I tell him. And if we had ashtrays, I'd make you clean the ashtrays. But for certain guys who are very reserved and very, and they don't want to share. Hey, and you got to about 15 minutes into the meeting if the meeting starts at 6:30, I tell them at 6:45 on the button. If no one has you, get up and grab that pot of coffee. Y'all want you to get up and grab the pot of coffee. That gets them involved. That gets them, and they feel a part. They're taking part in their recovery. They're taking part in their sobriety. They're a part of. Sometimes they need that kick. That's absolutely service.
Yeah, grabbing the readings.
No, yeah. And I agree with you guys on that one wholeheartedly. The part of the readings, and I'm going back to my own ego, right? Because where my ego is at when I first started coming into the rooms, I ain't pouring you a cup of coffee. You're below me. I'm not pouring you a cup of coffee.
Oh, damn.
That ain't no service. Well, I mean, it's where it was at. Okay, it's where I was at when I first, even when I got out of AA, after I got out of Maynard's, And I was still I was going into these meetings. I still had so much ego left inside of me. I hadn't gotten rid of it yet. So in my brain, that my service needed to be something sitting at the head of the table. That's where my ego was at.
Kurt had said something last podcast about, one thing that impressed him about old Rob, which is crazy. Because I go to the book, you go to the literature, you go to the Bible. That's where the answers are. You go to the big book. You guys both quoted step 12. Having had, past tense, a spiritual awakening as the result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics. This message is very specific. Now, if you, and this used to piss me off because they've done it. You hear someone will bring that topic up in the rooms, and you'll hear someone say, "Well, I think the message of AA is blah," or "I think it." And then what do I do, Kurt? I go, "Well, let's find out what the fucking author tells us the message the message we are carrying to alcoholics." And if you'll find that on the forward of the first edition, I'll read it to you. Here's the forward of the first edition, written in 1939. We of Alcoholics Anonymous are more than 100 men and women. Actually, there were 99 men, 1 woman. Anyway, who have recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of body and mind. Here it is. To show other alcoholics precisely how we have recovered is the main purpose of this book. There's the message we're supposed to carry. Not to, look what it says. It doesn't say to tell other alcoholics how we recovered. It says to show them. And sometimes to show them is to get up and be of service to someone else. Go pour coffee. Go wash ashtrays. Go clean cups. Get out of yourself. To show others. And sometimes it's not, there's a guy, Father Martin, if you ever hear him, speaker tapes, great speaker. Terrible sponsor. So he didn't sponsor anybody because he was terrible. He self-admitted, I don't sponsor, he's terrible. But he was a fabulous speaker. That was the gift God had given him. And what did he do with it? Exercised it all over. And brought a lot of men to the rooms of AA and strengthened a lot of men because that's his gift. And as I've said, the Holy Spirit gives gifts. You read Ephesians, you read Corinthians, there's a certain group of gifts, and that God determines what you're going to get. We don't, hey, God, I'd like the gift of 6 foot, motherfucker, you're going to be short, shut up.
That's what happened to you.
That's what happened. But he gives us a gift, and when you exercise that gift, when he'll empower you to exercise whatever, and he gives some people multiple gifts. I've been given one, and I try to use it to the best of my ability. He strengthens me to use that gift, which is this. We all know what it is. But when you use that for the betterment of the fellowship of other people, because I'm a leaky vessel, right? When I'm pouring my time, my talent, my treasure into another human being, who fills me back up? God. I'm as selfish a pig sober as I was drinking. I dig that. God fills me up. I didn't know that that's what I was looking for. I tried it with sex. I tried it with meth, booze. I tried to fill that void, and it was a God hole. He had to fill it, and it gets filled when I give it away. Yes. And the faster I give it away, you can't outgive God. And I fucking tried, and I'm going to keep trying. And he gives it back.
You wear yourself out.
Yeah, but when you come in, you have a spiritual awakening. You give yourself to Christ. You're given a gift. I promise you, or more than one. Find out what it is. Exercise that gift for His glory and your brothers and sisters, and you will be amazed the things He will do. And look, come on. The Bible says that God uses the weak to shame the strong. He uses the dull to shame the smart. He uses me to shame the rest of you fuckers. If that guy can do it, Jesus, what can He do with me? If He can do that with me, what can He do with you? Right? I'm the least talented of everybody. I'm the least of these. But look what He can do.
Service versus ego. Can service become another place for ego? That's what I was
Absolutely.
just saying. Sure. That's what I was just saying.
Sure. Right?
I think that's one of the biggest reasons why when I was in Maynard's, I don't know if you remember this. In fact, I know it's the reason why. When I was in Maynard's, they'd always pick somebody to be like the mayor. They call it the mayor. Well, yeah. Marty, the guy up there, would not, and I was the next one in line because it's normally the next person getting ready to leave. I was the next one in line to be the mayor. Well, he passed me by to somebody behind me, and I'm like, I was pissed. But he knew damn good what he was doing. He knew damn good what he was doing. That wasn't going to serve me for nothing except boost my ego right back to where it was at.
So I'm talking about the times of Jason Ryan, Jason Allen. Those are about, because Jason Ryan 6 years, Jason Allen 7, or 7 and 8. So that's what's that. So we're at 6, 7 years ago, 8 years ago. When Oakdale had moved from the first move from the church into right across from MMA place, and I was probably working with 4 guys a week, and they're doing the steps and getting sober. Now every time I'd go to primary purpose, I'd sit next to Jay. Hey, Jay, guess what? I heard my 3rd, 5th step. I heard my 4th, and then I remember I've attributed things to him that he didn't really say, even though they're good. This time he looked at me, You know, and he just, this is my first, you know, the fourth, fifth step that I've heard, Jay, and he goes, who are you doing this for? Dude, and that hurt. That hurt because he's right. Who am I doing it for?
He got you.
Okay, I'm going back to my sponsor. I want a pat on the back for doing what you're supposed to do. Imagine, you know, it can get you. It can. You know, who are you doing it for? Who are you doing it for? Look at me, look at me, look at me.
I have to catch myself doing that. I do. Like I said, my ego is out of control sometimes. I have to keep it in check pretty good. Service when it's inconvenient.
It's always inconvenient.
It's easy to help when you have nothing else going on.
It's always inconvenient.
Right.
It's got to cost you something. It should. Anyway, it does. What is the most valuable thing we possess of God? The things that God gives us, our time, our talent, it's finite. We don't know when, and we don't know when our last moment is.
I can tell you this, and I said this yesterday in the meeting. Thursday was my granddaughter's birthday here. I'd been traveling, been gone for 3 days, exhausted, tired, in 116 down in high humidity. I got home late on Wednesday night, 12 o'clock, went right back to work, blah, 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 right? I had about 2 hours that I was going to be able to lay down for a little while before everybody started showing up. I got a phone call or a text asking if I was home from a sponsee. And I'm like, I looked at that phone and I'm like, yes, I am home.
Absolutely.
And he said, do you mind if I come by? Yes, please come by. Absolutely. You know, it's fun as he shows up. We sit here, we have great conversations, and then my grandbabies start coming in, and my grandbabies go and give him a hug, right? And I know that just brightened his day. I could see it in his eyes because that's my grandkids. They hug. They're huggers. They're their papas. Their parents are that way. And it just, I'm like, as they're doing this, I'm like, fuck, I'm glad I didn't say no. God damn, could you imagine? This is what we do this for. Is for this right here. It was amazing to see it. I love it. Can saying no sometimes be service. Service doesn't necessarily mean being available to everyone all the time.
Ooh, what do you think about that, Kurt?
Yeah, no, not all the time. And there's absolutely times when we have to say no. Just you know, you have to take care of yourself first, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't, Kurt. I'm going to stretch on that one just a little bit. I don't think it's always taking care of ourselves. I think sometimes, and he's going to know exactly what I'm talking about, I think sometimes we can give too much to somebody and then they start to depend on what you have to say. Sometimes we need to say no. Sometimes I feel like, you know what, you need to figure this shit out on your own.
And just wrestle with God on it.
There is that, right? I mean, my sponsor, one of the first things he told me was, I'm not your therapist.
Amen.
I'm not your doctor.
I'm not your banker.
I'm not your attorney. I'm not your banker, right? I'm a guy that's gone through the steps, and I'll show you what I learned. I'll tell you. I'll suggest that you do what I did, right? Yeah. So there is a line where, you know, service is not telling somebody what to do with their medication. Right. Service is not providing marital advice. You know, service is not telling them how to raise their children.
I mean, the other thing is when they call and say, "I'm going to go to the bathroom now. I'm going to walk outside. Now I'm going to. Do you think I should do this? Do you think I should do that?
Well,
motherfucker, use your brain."
Well, but it's our job. It's our job as sponsors and mentors to give them tools. You know, because every nut has a wrench. And for this nut, here's the wrench that I use, because we show them. And then, you know, and they got that spiritual kit of tools. We show them how we use them. And then they develop them through struggle or through mistakes as we did. But we are supposed to empower them to walk. However, to your point, many times I have gone overboard in saying yes and stretched myself so thin when there's other men in our group. Hey, guess what, buddy? Here you go. This guy needs some step work, and I've got 2 guys going, but a lot of times I wouldn't, because I've had deleterious things happen, or you know, bad things happen, or they even though it's their fault that they go and drink, but you know, well, what if I'd said yes? What if I'd taken on that 3rd one or 4th one? Who the fuck am I? You know, there's that balance that I struggle with all my sobriety, saying yes because, you know,
I can do it better.
But at least I know how it goes. Exactly. But who am I taking out of the equation when I say that? God. Yeah. Taking God completely out of the equation. Katie really brought it up to me. There's all these men, Rob, that have worked the steps you've taken through in this group. Hey, guess what? It'd be a great opportunity for you You know, and that'll free up time with me, with Bonnie, free with my kids, and so I don't have to.
Well, I think ultimately, just like in the church, we're to teach people to be teachers.
Right.
That should be our goal.
Yes.
Empower others to empower others.
Others to go out.
Fishermen.
And
Make
spread,
fishermen.
Spread the message.
Right.
Make
Teach
fishermen.
other people to be fishers.
Yes.
Both in AA and in Christianity.
And trust that God will. You know, that's where I failed. Obviously, when I would take too much, because I know how I do it. I know it'll get done right, which it might, but I'm taking a gift away from another man that could, and I'm completely not showing any faith or trust in God that He's got a handle on it.
What Rob keeps talking about is me, Rob, and Bonnie. I'm sorry, me, Bonnie, and Katie. I teamed up on him, and I didn't let him know what was happening, because I had seen him wearing down and saw his shortness and saw, besides his stature shortness, I saw his shortness, I saw his lack of, a lot of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, this guy's spread thin. And I'd talked to him about it multiple times while I had Bonnie and Katie on here.
On top of hitting the gym, on top of doing jiu-jitsu, on top of doing...
spread out too far. And I saw it, and my heart was hurting for my friend. And I'm like, he's not going to stop until he sees it for himself. And we, as people that loved him very much...
had podcast intervention.
We had a podcast intervention.
But they were right. They were all right. It was all right. And delegate, give these men this gift, trust that God is going to do what God has done, and get out of the fucking way. And
It goes back to what I was talking about previously. I mean, we need to be active in each other's lives.
Yes.
And be invited into each other's lives, and not let those things go unsaid.
Yes. And that's
love.
Yes, and we have to be okay with, I have to be okay with Rob looking at me and going, no, you're fucking up. Pay attention what you're doing right now. I'm okay with that, right? With Rob doing that. Other people, I don't know if I would be or not, right? There's certain people in my life, Doug, Brad, Rob, Pat, that I will allow them to look at me and say, you're fucking up. You straighten up, right? Mm-hmm. But there's other people that I won't allow that to happen, right? But those are the men that I look to, and everybody needs to have those men in their lives, and you have to be okay with allowing people like that into your life. If you're not okay with another man or another human being telling you you're fucking up, you're in a bad spot.
And you don't have you don't have the right people in your life.
Yes. That to me. Do we get chosen who deserves our service? In other words, is it easy to help the newcomer we like, or just anybody that God puts in our face?
That's a tough one. Well, I mean, it's not a tough one, but yeah, that happens. We think, Kurt. Well, what do it say? Principles before
personality.
Right. Has God ever brought you someone like, to sponsor, to work with, or to help? Like, fuck, dude, are you serious? Are you talking? Are you serious, God? You're going to bring me this dipshit?
Yeah, I think so.
Or someone that your personalities clash? I have.
Yeah, absolutely, and we are responsible.
Yes.
Yeah, I knew what your answer is. Right. I'm sure you did. Exactly.
So I mean,
well, hold on.
No, they have to be.
A part of my yes, because I've never seen Kurt say no. He's always been helpful. And part of my overzealousness, not just from Jay. It's your fault.
You're justifying it, rationalizing it over there. Hey, I will bring this up real fast. I meant to bring this up at point. So the recent events that I've been dealing with, because I've been asked not to share a whole lot of it. So the recent events that I've been dealing with has caused me to reach out to another state's AA functions. I've actually reached out.
That we met through this, Kurt.
Yes, I've reached out to these people, and in amongst them talking to me, they had to reach out to their sponsor to discuss this with their sponsor. And I felt like, what the fuck are you talking about? Just go do what you feel like you're supposed to do. Both of them that I spoke to said I need to speak to my sponsor first. And it's like, I don't know why that bothered me. It just did. I mean, if I'm asked to go help somebody do a 12-step, I ain't fucking calling you.
I hope not.
Unless I want you to go with me.
You fired me anyway, motherfucker. Sorry, Katie.
Anyways, I don't know. I just felt that was weird
Okay,
because
Kurt.
you're asked to do service, but then you got to
Yeah.
go call your sponsor, get approval to get.
He fired me on air, and he was proud of it anyway, which is the greatest, second greatest day of my life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you,
The first was when I asked him.
since you've come back in the rooms, and I know you're doing this, you're doing morning meetings. I know you're sponsoring men. Is there any other service you're doing that you didn't do before? Anything you've added to? I don't know if you ever did H&I, but anything you've added to, or I mean, you chair a meeting. What do you? Any other service or service that you want to look into?
Nothing that I haven't done before. I guess men have pointed it out to me. I've gone to pick up men from treatment to bring them to meetings, right? That's something I haven't done before. So that's been a new part of what.
And who
I'm
does that
doing now.
remind you of in the Bible? Andrew,
Okay.
Peter's brother Andrew. Because
Yeah.
whenever he would, hey, who did he bring to Jesus? He'd go get his brother. Hey, look who I found with the John the Baptist when he came to Andrew first. Andrew went and got his brother. Hey, look what I found.
Yeah.
Bring him into the solution. That's awesome.
Yeah, and one of those things where, you know, when I first moved to California, I didn't have a driver's license.
We never did cover that. How long it took
Yeah, I didn't have a driver's license
for years
13 years.
How long?
for DUIs.
13 years.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, Illinois didn't play games with.
I guess not.
Yeah.
Wow.
I hear these guys in California have 6, 7, 8 DUIs and they still had a driver's license. And
That's crazy.
I was one DUI away from a lifetime revocation.
Wow.
And
Wow.
you know,
I don't have a problem with that. By the way.
states talk to each other.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right. So if you don't have a valid license, or you have a revocation in the state of Illinois, the state of California is not going to give you one. So anyway, long story short, I for 6, 7, 8 years, don't remember exactly, but in California, I never lacked a ride because somebody in AA
Picking you up.
would come pick me up
Nice.
for anything. Connie we would joke about it. She's like, I hope when you get your license, you're a good driver.
Yeah.
So now, you know, going to pick up other guys in treatment, to wake up half hour earlier to go get them, even though it's out of the way, it's. I don't even see that as service, really.
But it is.
It is.
It is.
Would you do one of the
I know,
questions?
but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
One of the questions in here is: would you do service when nobody's watching, or if nobody knew?
I do quite often.
Well,
Besides the guy that I'm with, no one knows.
I think that's the answer. And I had this discussion with my grandson multiple times about his, you know, because he's made a double down commitment in wrestling. He's staying there instead of doing multiple sports. He wants to focus on wrestling. And I asked him one day, I said, what do you do when nobody's watching? He's like, what do you mean, Papa? I said, you know the difference between great and excellent is it's what you do when nobody's watching. What are you working on when nobody's watching? And I think the same thing goes with our service work and what are we doing. We don't do it for thank you. You know, I had like I said, this family thing that I was dealing with. They kept saying thank you to me, and I'm like, listen, man, don't thank me. Thank the man that got me sober, right?
That's why I'm doing it.
Yeah, that's the reason why I'm doing it. Does it give me joy? Absolutely, it gives me freaking
I love it.
joy.
I just shared that. I mean, God's filling me up. I love it.
My motive is not to make me feel better. My motive is to help that person. But
an ancillary benefit of it, I feel better.
Oh my God, I feel good about it. And if something happens, all glory to God, right?
Yeah.
All glory to Him. It ain't because of me. I was just an outlet. I just had the right people, and this podcast put me in a position to reach out to those people.
But like Kurt, at times, we need to be the hands and feet of God.
Nothing
But
will
then you're in the situation where I want to share that example with somebody, but then I'm telling them of the good thing I did.
Oh, yeah.
No.
I'm not going to tell them.
And it goes back to the $100 bill that I picked up on the street in San Diego. I walking down the street, I found a $100 bill just sitting on the ground, and I'm looking at it going, I'm looking around for the camera. I'm literally looking around for the camera, and I'm looking around, I'm like, huh. And I kick it a little bit, thinking there's a string on it. I'm like, huh. So I bend down and I pick it up, and I'm like, I look at it, I'm like, it's not counterfeit. So I walk on down to my hotel room, and at the front was the the valet. I said, hey, I just found this $100 bill up the street there. I have no idea, but if somebody comes looking for it, here it is. And those guys looked at it. I'm like, oh, no, it's real. I already looked at it. And I walked in there like, are you serious right now? And I'm like, It's not mine. It's not mine. I'm not going to take it, because I kept waiting for the cameras to pop out of the bush, quite honestly. But I just, those are the kind of things that I don't want to tell anybody about it, but it was such an oddball thing. I had to tell somebody about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it just wasn't mine. So anyways, like I said, the service is one of those things where I always feel like I'm not doing enough, but then on the other side, I feel like I'm doing too much. When I was involved with H&I, I was extremely involved in H&I. I had to back out of it. This podcast, our podcast, is something that takes me a lot of time. It's a lot of effort. I will continue to work on this even after you guys are gone.
It's service.
Katie and I will work on it, and it is service.
But
right?
but if you want, again, God can do what God wants to do. If you want your sobriety to shine, if you want a deeper walk, yes, service should be a part of your walk, your program, if you will. It's just some form of service, whatever that is. You find it. I mean, you might try H&I and it sucks, or it's not your thing. You might try this and it's not your thing. Don't let anybody tell you what you should do as far as service, but I believe service should be a part of it. Find it for yourself. What would you say, Kurt?
Well, it needs to be sacrificial.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yes.
Right.
It should cost you something.
Yeah, Katie, here, sacrificial. All the money we spent in.
And that's, so often that's a negative word, right? Sacrificial, but I mean, that's what we're called to do.
Yes.
And it should be sacrificial, but you also have to balance that with family.
And that's where I struggle.
Because God calls us to be husbands and wives and fathers,
yes,
and mothers, and we have certain responsibilities, so we have to make sure we're fulfilling them as well. But there is something to it. There is a sacrificial part, right?
Yes, but and that goes back to what I said yesterday. Even on this, there has to be done with a willing heart. Just spoke to, and that's whether you're tithing at church, whatever you're doing. If you're not giving with a willing heart, no matter what you're doing, to me,
sacrificial and willing aren't. It's hard to use them in the same sentence.
Correct, but I know what you're getting at.
No, I sacrifice a lot of money inside this room for this podcast, but I do it with a willing, open heart. Yeah. It's been...
Well, and again, if I'm going to another man's house, like, motherfucker, begrudgingly,
yes,
not with a willing heart, I got to go do this again. Well, if I don't do it, I'm not going to stay sober because this is part of service. One, that's going to...
A person's going to see it.
Well, yeah, and you're going to be deficient in your service,
mm-hmm,
and it's going to wear you out.
Yep.
But at times, you're still going to feel that way. I mean, that's where the sacrificial comes in. It's not that I'm not willing to do it. It's like, fuck, can it be done at a more convenient time? God's like, no.
Do it right now.
It should cost you something. Yep. And if your heart's still good, because I can't. I mean, times I've done it, and he tells me no, fuck off.
We're called to suffer.
Yeah. The Lord just gave me, because I'm just tired. I've worked 12 hours. I hit the gym, and I'm going to do step work at 10 o'clock at night, like I did last week, and I got to get up at 3 a.m. I'm like, dude, Lord, just give me the strength to get here, some wisdom. And He says no, because you're driving right now. If I give it to you now, you're going to waste that energy. You'll get it when you need it, you little prick. So go be of service. And I want to do it, but yes, I'm tired.
Yeah.
But I've never not left in the book, in with God, and just be on fire. Bonnie can't stand it when I do step work at night, because I come home, hey, guess what? And you're just excited and talking about God, because now she's getting in Scripture, and we're doing a Bible study on Sunday nights, which that took away. So it's awesome. It's awesome. I've never not felt better.
There can be times when it doesn't. You don't have a willing heart, but the willing heart will come.
It will come.
So fake it till you make it.
Well, like I said,
just kidding.
Text that I got the other
day.
No,
but you're absolutely right. Absolutely right.
The text that I got the other day, are you home? And I knew exactly. I did not have no willing heart. I had no willing heart. But when he got here, I had an open, willing heart.
But you must have, because you still said yes.
Oh yeah, no, I did, because I knew it was something that I had. It was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I did not have a no in me at that point. I didn't, because I knew that it just had to be done.
Have you guys ever had this? So someone will call you out of the blue. You haven't heard from. Hey, so and so, would you come in? I'm going to be at Primary Purpose tonight. Would you come to meet? And I haven't been to Primary Purpose this is years ago. This happens throughout time, and you just know this is a God thing. So I'm going to go to this meeting because I know God's going to have a special word for me. Someone's going to say something that I'm going to need.
I know where
and
this
you get
is
there,
going.
And you're like, okay.
Where's it at?
And nothing
Where's it at?
happens. It's just a fucking meeting, just a regular meeting. Like, and you're driving. The first time it ever happened, maybe year 3 or 4, I'm driving home like, what the fuck was that about? Sorry, sorry, Katie, about the F words. I put my, where's the F jar? Where's the F jar? What was that about?
Yeah.
It was
I've
God.
done it.
It was God just asking, are you going to be obedient?
I've done
Are you
it.
going to go? Regardless of what you may or may not get out of it, are you still going to go?
We're called to be obedient.
Yeah. And then that's just a test for me that I think. You know?
And the other thing is maybe it wasn't all about you.
Exactly.
He was using you to impact somebody else. Somebody else left that meeting feeling different because of something you said that they wouldn't have gotten had you not shown up.
But the key word, what you told me, it wasn't about me.
Yeah,
The greatest gift AA's given me, besides, you know, sobriety, all that, it ain't about you.
We're tools, right?
Yeah.
And Rob, you are a tool.
I'm a tool.
He is a tool.
And God uses
He,
us.
A hammer.
He told me that. I remember driving to H&I.
Yes.
And going out, and because when is it? 7 o'clock, right? That's when it starts. At 7 o'clock is when we'd go into the jails. And I just remember it was winter. It was raining and it was cold. And I did not want to go. And Rob was like, well, Larry, you know, maybe somebody there needs to hear what you have to say. You know? And I think there's another time. This was early on in my sobriety. I got called to speak during H&I. I got told to speak. You remember
He
this?
didn't get to speak.
And I got called to speak. And I get in there, and the other guy went first. There was 2 of us there, and the other guy went first, and he went on for 45 fucking minutes, blabbering about nothing. Nothing. And finally, the guy that was running it looked at me and goes, well, there's not a whole lot of time left. Do you want to talk? I was like, nope, because I was pissed. And I'm like, I get up and I'm driving home and I'm calling Rob, and he didn't say a word for 20 minutes because I'm blowing up on the phone. And Rob, after all that, goes, well, maybe that other guy had something somebody in that room needed to hear besides you. And I'm like, fuck you, and I hung up on him.
Yeah. Oh, it was hilarious, dude.
Oh, my God. But he was right. He was right.
Hey, and everything that he wanted to say there, he got to say to me. So it got out. He got it out, baby. Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, it was so funny. It just goes back to the thing is, you know what, listen, just because and you know what I learned from that is when I would go into meetings and I had something in my mind that I wanted to speak or wanted to share, I would write it down, because I know that even if nobody else in the room got to hear it, I got to read it back to myself, because even if it wasn't for somebody else, it was meant for me to read. And I still have a book inside of my AA book. There's a notepad, and there's a lot of stuff in there that has never got to share it, but yet I can go back and read it, and stuff that God wanted me to hear. Right? Those are the things.
When I leave a meeting, even if I don't get to share, usually at primary, on the way home, I'll share as if I'm in the meeting, just to get it out. Good.
I think that's important. That stopped resentments that I had in meetings that it didn't get around me to share.
Well, for me, it's not paying rent. I kick it out.
Yeah.
You know,
and
guilt, shame, fear, anything. If it's not doing any benefit inside of me, I kick it out. It ain't paying rent. So.
Because we all know what I have to say has got to be the most important
Absolutely.
thing.
Absolutely. I mean, come on. I wouldn't be here today if I didn't hear your bullshit.
Right.
Sorry, hey, Katie. We've been talking about, as we go through this Drop the Rock book at our Monday night group, about cussing and swearing and biblically and being better. So I dropped a few F-bombs this session.
A few?
I apologize. Please forgive me. I'm getting, God will straighten me. I'm getting better. I want to be better.
That Drop the Rock book, we've talked about
It's
it now
good.
for the last 5 or 6
good,
episodes, but my gosh, the stuff that it drags up and the stuff that it pulls out, and it's like, it almost makes me want to be rebellious. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that,
I know exactly what you mean.
When I read it, I want to push it away and go, no.
You're asking too much.
That's bullshit.
You're asking
That's
too
bullshit.
much.
But it's just, there's so much there, and it's like, good grief. Okay, I'll keep digging. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, Kurt, appreciate you, man.
Yeah,
You've been awesome. Thank you for your story. Thank you for joining in on our topic. Rob, I love you. I know I ended the last one.
I love both of you very much. I know you do. You don't even ever have to say that again.
I know I ended the last one ugly to you, but that's okay. Sometimes I have to. Kurt, love you. I think it's been an amazing time for you to be here.
Nice to meet your lovely wife.
She is lovely, isn't she?
Wait, since I know all three, of course I know my wife, but you know all the wives, Doctor, you alluded to what Dr. Bob says, that the men that alcoholics marry.
Oh, yeah.
I usually quote it, but yeah, you're right. They are.
Oh, wait a minute. Did you forget a line out of the
forgot.
big? Woo!
It'll come back.
Mark
Anyway,
that down.
Yeah.
Rob
No,
forgot it.
It's in yeah.
We marry the most amazing women.
Yeah.
So.
Why they should be subject to the shit we put them through is beyond me.
Anyways, baby, get us out of here.
Listening to the Recovery Unfiltered podcast. If you'd like to reach out to us, please email us at recoveryunfilteredpodcast@gmail.com.